I just want to point to CNBC commentary today. This is the halftime report. They talked first about airlines. Airlines were getting beaten up over the last X amount of time. Look how cheap they've gotten, 6 times, 5 times, and 6 times. And they're saying is that buy, sell, or hold. No, avoid these is kind of their goal. I want to show you contrarian sort of ideas. Okay, they say avoid them. Wait for a recession. Look, we know Delta put a huge put spike in here. Okay, we got long that at the time. The other thing that happened is, that's important, is as this put in a put spike, we rallied off. I mentioned here the best of the move was kind of done by day 4 or 5, right? Pulls back, it goes. You don't want it. Now this pullback into this area. Look at today's candle. That was really nice, right? I don't know why this thing moves around, but that's a really nice candle right here at the 35. Also, we had that big computer glitch and all that, and the stock's still holding it. So that should be something to think about. Now, the next thing we're talking about is time to bet on miners, right? Because miners have been going up. But if you look, miners have been going up, airlines have been going down. Well, I talked about all the call activity in NEM. I talked about sort of above the Bollinger Band, all these reasons. Again, in terms of trading, I'm trying to catch something to here while this comes to here, at least. If not, even better, if this ends up being some type of break here, 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 and then all of a sudden you're like this, and then you're even adding in, let me do this again. Here's your break, and then, okay, fine, whatever, and then that's really the bigger picture. And then you look back over the long run and say, well, the trend line broke, this broke down. Okay, that's the idea. That's trading, right? We know where our levels are. We can define them. What we're looking for is these to have bottomed out, too. Maybe they trade sideways after they get back into this 40 range. But the early money's only going to be made by taking advantage of this pullback. And you can see people hammered the stock today. So they hammered it. That could get you back up to 42 or so. So if this trades inside of the body tomorrow or anything like that, or pulls back again and holds again, I'm going to jump in. I didn't get a chance to today, but I'm watching. All right, hey, it's Arun, and if you just saw that video, that was on the Fast Money halftime report on CNBC, and so that was a couple months ago. And as I'm updating this, I want to show you now the top 2 panels of that trade and how they worked out. And the important point is here was kind of the day of the video. I believe the hammer I spoke to on Delta, it would be right here. As you can see, they hammered, ended up consolidating more, and so this trade actually turned out to be much larger than even I expected. Particularly because if you look at the rally out, it consolidated right here at 40 in the 41 range and then really broke out. And as I pointed to on the actual Delta trading video, which I walked through this entire trade as it was going, in hindsight, what had happened here is Buffett took a position in the airlines as well. We found out about that, I believe, on this candle. And certainly we saw, so where I am now in the beginning of 2017 doing this update, they've already run quite a bit. But that was my point of the video. Now here's NEM, which was in the bottom panel. It actually broke down almost perfectly in terms of that, broke, and now we're kind of meandering here. And so within Fusion Point, this is what individual stocks and trading kind of can do. There were reversal signals here, particularly on this actual day of the high that we track. I've got a couple that I like. They were all in here. Some are on the price chart, some are under the surface. There certainly were here. I want to point to this candle right here, this big down day that was here. This was one of the biggest, sorry, let me make that a little cleaner, but this was one of the biggest tells I've seen in quite some time is this candle, this down into the 32 low, and this candle here. And at the time I did the video, the reason I did it is it caught my eye on TV that they were talking about these, and I said, wait a minute, not only were these cheap, but it was classic. It was like, don't touch them yet, kind of wait around. And I said, no, this is ready to go. This is all, not only had a capitulation low, which is a technique in and of itself, it's bounced out and now it's consolidating, and that's your opportunity. And certainly, I don't know the exact Buffett purchases or what when they bought the airlines, but it was all down in here, and then you had this major move. And same with NEM, it was the same deal. It was like, yeah, I think you want to be in the miners, they're going up, and it was like, no, this thing has gone from 16 here, 15, all the way to 45, so it doubled. And not only that, you can see just on a pure technical trading basis, this is a trend line here. I'll clean up some of this so you can see it, but just if you're only using chart patterns, by themselves rather than sentiment and everything else, you could see right here, here's your trend line, and the stock is kind of nicely going along trend, and then it quietly jumps out. And it's short term, it's one shot. and I mentioned that in the Bollingers is a way to do it. There's a lot of ways to do it, but it jumps out, and that's it. That's all she wrote. It's over at that point, and you're talking about 45 down to 30 in again a short period of time. So these were two of my favorites in terms of fading news, in terms of recognizing chart patterns, and using fusion strategies, which include fundamentals and behavioral and all of that. So I hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you soon.